Welcome back to Rowing with Restless Women. Today, I have someone who I think is going to add a lot to our daily lives and help us with these conversations that we're having to have that are conflict in nature, I guess, conflictual in nature. Hesha Abrams is an internationally acclaimed master attorney mediator. She's a negotiator and a deal maker who, for 30 years, has been renowned for her success in resolving high-profile, difficult matters, including mediating the case over the secret recipe for Pepsi. Most people are afraid of conflict because they lack the skills and tools to handle it properly. Hesha will share her secret on how to resolve conflict. She shares it now in her popular book called Holding the Calm: The Secret to Resolving Conflict and Diffusing Tension. She shares real tools that can actually work so that people can benefit from her experience and restore harmony to their corner of the world. These techniques have worked with large multinational corporations arguing over billions of dollars, as well as municipalities, small businesses, families, and individuals, including her own children and grandchildren. Holding the Calm: The Secret to Resolving Conflict and Diffusing Tension is an insightful, practical, and easy to use guide to help anyone learn how to diffuse tension, eliminate conflict, and make deals. So, welcome, Hesha. I'm so excited to have you, especially at this day and time where there seems to be conflict around every corner.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What do you think causes, why do people hate conflict so much? Just bottom line it here for me.
I I love that as the first question because when anyone says, conflict, no one goes, "Ooh, opportunity to learn." We all go, "Oh, God, get away from me." And
Right.
we think of conflict. I like to joke that it's either a root canal or a colonoscopy without anesthesia. It depends on
Oh,
which end you're going from.
yeah.
So, so think of it that way, and that's really what it is. But
Mhm.
we don't teach skill. These things should be taught in schools, and
Yeah.
so we don't know how to do it. So you do it like your parents did it, and that probably wasn't very effective. And
Mhm.
so you either run, you hide, you fight, you're passive aggressive, you're aggressive aggressive. Unless you've had some training and some skills in doing it, you don't know how to do it. And then what happens is your amygdala, which is the reptilian brain back here, it's two little kidney-shaped organs, they activate. And when they activate, guess what happens? The prefrontal cortex, which is your thinking part of your brain, goes dark. And there's a very
Yes.
good evolutionary reason for that. If I'm running and, is that a saber-toothed tiger chasing me? Is it food? I mean, I don't have time to sit and analyze and look at the data. Your brain has to make a decision, safety
Right.
right away. So when that amygdala kicks in, blood literally goes to your limbs so that you can run, so that you can flee. Your heart starts to race. And so this stuff goes dark. It's fascinating. And scientists have shoved people in MRIs and done all kinds of tests. It goes dark for 20 minutes. Think
Oh
about
my
that. 15 to
goodness.
20 minutes. So if you can
Oh,
somehow get yourself past like the 15-minute mark, this thing will turn back on. And so it's very interesting
wow.
when people are hot, like the old adage about take a few deep breaths, da da da. Da.
Yeah.
I can tell you why that doesn't work, but how a corollary to that will work. What you're doing is giving yourself some space and time. I call it creating a moat around the emotions. You need some
Okay.
space there because someone says something, your amygdala initially goes friend or foe. And if I look at
Yes.
you as friend, I relax. If I look at you as foe, boom, now we're off to the races. And
Yeah.
I hate you, you're stupid, you're nasty, you're a narcissist, you're an egomaniac. And then our brain starts labeling. Well, okay, you're already screwed if you do that. So how do we avoid that? And then once you've avoided it, who's in charge? Who has the power in that interaction? It's incredible how empowering it is. If you can get past that first crust, then you're the one in charge and in power. And it's a wonderful feeling. It really, that's why I wrote the book, because I do this for a living. I want everyone should have this stuff. I mean, it's
Yes.
crazy that we don't. This is like financial literacy. This is human being literacy. We should, this is, and it's not hard. It just takes like riding a bicycle. Takes a little practice.
Well, what do you do when you have someone who actually thrives on that amygdala feeling? Because
Oh
I know
yeah.
some people, and I know myself, when I get righteously indignant about something, or I'm
Yeah.
very passionate about something, I
Hmm.
enjoy that let it all go amygdala emotional
Right.
outpouring.
Yeah.
How do you educate people who enjoy that?
Well, I don't educate them to stop it. One of the things I talk about, and I do a lot of it in the book, is you take people as they are. So
Hmm.
there are people that love and enjoy that adrenaline rush. There are some people that hate it and feel poisoned by it, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to change somebody's biology or a lifetime of adaptive behavior.
Oh yeah.
It is what it is. So let's say you enjoy that. I can sit back here and just let you go. I don't have to engage at all, do I? I've got a moat around me. So when you did that self-righteous indignation, how long does that last? 5 minutes at the most. Now, if I engage with you, it can have a
Oh,
second life or a third life. But if I don't engage, that first blah of vomiting, 5 minutes max, usually more like 2 minutes because people don't have the energy. And you just sit back, let it flow out. Why would I even bother talking to you when your prefrontal cortex is dark? You're carrying something. Fine, vomit it out. It's like you got food poisoning. Okay, fine, get it out. I don't have to react to that. I have choice. I have power. That's the whole thing about why I called the book Holding the Calm. And the reason where that came from when I wrote the book, that wasn't my title. And my publisher said, he literally asked me, because I do this for a living, and every
right.
case I get, someone says, give me $100 million, and the other side says, here's 10,000, drop dead. How do I settle those? And I settle almost everything I do. It's with all of this stuff, right? So and he asked me, he goes, how do you do this? And I said, I hold the calm. And he goes, ooh, what's that? And then that's how it became. And the reason I changed it from hold the calm to holding the calm is that when your amygdala is triggered, what
Mhm.
you're really saying is, don't tell me what to do. Who the heck do
Oh
you
yeah.
think you are? I don't, because I feel powerless. You try to school me or tell me I'm wrong, you're taking power from me. I'm already feeling powerless. Why would that work? So one of the things that I even do for myself is let's say you're hot. Okay, now if you're hot about somebody else or politics or whatever, that's easier. I can sit back and just let it flow by me and then
Right.
we can deal with it. But let's say you're hot at me.
Ooh.
Okay,
Okay.
that is a lot harder. So what I
That is
literally
what
that
happens
is,
actually.
and exactly that's what happens. So you know what you do? Take a deep breath and you say inside your head, I'm holding the calm. I'm holding the calm. I'm holding the calm. Now, why would those magic words work? The reason why they do is they remind you that you have a moat. They remind you that you have skills, you've got tactics, you've got maturity, you've got a lot of power, even though you might be, your amygdala is getting a little triggered in the moment. And if you said, I'm holding the calm, notice my verb choice was very important. Because if you're coming at me like this, my
Right.
amygdala is triggered,
Oh
right?
yeah.
I don't want anyone telling me what to do, even me.
It's a
And that's why
threat.
it doesn't work when it
Yeah.
says calm down, relax, take a deep breath. It makes it worse. Even
Oh
if you say
yeah.
it to yourself, because you're making yourself feel powerless. So
Right.
what saying I'm holding the calm does is it scientifically is saying to you, you got this, girlfriend.
Mm.
You got you got this. And think about it. It takes 4 seconds,
Mm.
5 seconds. All I have to do is remember to say it. And then my amygdala calms down and says, you got this. I can pull back. You vomit out whatever food poisoning shit you're vomiting out. I don't have to react to that. And then when
Right.
it's done, I've got all these wonderful techniques in the book. I've got VUX, I've got WIIFM, I've got sandwiching, I've got so many different techniques based on who you're talking to and what the situation is about. And that's how I go through all of that because you don't, if I can just add one more thing to it, I shouldn't treat you like I should treat me. You are a completely different person from me, right? And so what do we tend to do? I mean, you've read The Five Love Languages, right?
Oh, yes, yes,
And that's such a great book. I love that book.
yes.
And that's for romance and stuff. But think about it in a business setting. We are the same way. Why would I treat you like I treat me, right? Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Are you a thinker or are you a feeler? Are you a big picture person or a detail person? I, because I put a moat, have power. So now while you're vomiting away, I'm diagnosing you. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Are you a big picture or a small picture? Are you a thinker or a feeler? And I'm going to tailor my response to you. Now, who has the power in that situation?
For sure you do. Yes, yes.
It's so fantastic. And the people will just think you're kind, you're nice, you're gentle, you're effective. All that is great. That's wonderful. But what it does, it means I want to navigate through this maze. Now, how do I do that? By seeing you and responding to you as you. Now you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel understood, you feel not
Hmm.
argued with. So now your amygdala looks at me and says, friend or foe? Friend. And then your amygdala calms down.
Yeah.
This takes 5, 10 minutes. Like it's so quick. And otherwise, think of every conflict people get in. It's off to the races. Ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, and
yeah.
it's explosive, right? And think about everyone you're in conflict with, we label them. You're an egomaniac, you're a narcissist, you're an idiot, you're difficult. Those labels don't help. It just means they disagree with you and do not have the skill set to either critically analyze their own position, which would enable them to modify it, but you're not giving them the opportunity to do that because you're challenging their core, who they are. Nothing good ever comes from that.
No,
It's cool stuff.
no. It's wonderful stuff.
And that's
Give
what I can see.
me
Like, I want people to see the verb ing,
holding.
holding. So I'm not even arguing with myself,
You're
right?
not telling you're doing.
It's
It,
cool stuff. And
it
it's
is
not
cool stuff.
hard. It's not, well, I mean, I've spent, 30 years
Yeah,
perfecting it in the business world, but it's like you get better and better the more you do it. And then the more people you can have it. And people will say to me, you can handle anybody. And it's like, yes, I can, because I look at you as your own unique flower. I don't treat roses like I treat daffodils. Why would I do that? That doesn't make any
yeah,
sense, you know? And I look at you. You're interesting. Okay. Why would you think that? That's so interesting. I bet you have a good reason. I may not agree with the reason. I may not prioritize the things the same way, but
right.
you are not a schizophrenic, crazy person. You have an opinion that is legitimate based on the facts and the dots you tie together.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the longer alive that you are, the more of those that you have tied together.
F to the yes.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And so give me an example of one of your most successful mediations, if you will. What were the sticking points? And you don't have obviously no client names, but just give
Right.
me an example from the business world and then one from the personal world, if you don't mind.
Sure, I'm happy to. I mean, I've done so many, it's hard to talk about them.
Yeah.
I have done, because I've been doing this for 35 years. So
Yeah.
I've been doing, I mean, I've done everything from small claims court, whose cat peed on the rug, which is
Oh,
honestly a little harder than a $1 billion case with Google or Facebook or Verizon or IBM. I mean, I worked for all these huge, huge companies. And People will say, well, they have plenty of money. Amazon's got plenty of money. Well, it's not Amazon. It's a person who has a job, who reports to somebody, who puts their pants on one leg at a time in the morning and doesn't want to look like an idiot, right? So every single
Mm.
case, I don't care what kind of a case you're dealing with, is like when I did the secret recipe of Pepsi was a fascinating case, but so much of my facts are confidential. I can't really go
Oh,
through,
sure.
too many
Yeah.
of them. But in every case, it's I'm right, you're wrong,
Hmm.
or you screwed me and I'm going to come get my what I should. And sometimes it's just a blackmail or extortion situation. I'm in the
Ooh.
right place at the right time and I can take advantage of you and you got money and I want some of it. And that is all conflict. It has, like, when we look at the geopolitical scene now with the wars going on, with politics that are going on, it's all a game. It's all chess pieces and
Oh, for
power
sure.
moving around the board. And the problem is that people that get so upset by it don't understand that it's a game. They think that it's a movie and that right will win in the end and that things will triumph. That's a movie, And what I say to people when people say to me just completely illogical things or things that cannot happen, utopian kind of things, I look at them and I say, yeah, I want chocolate cake to not be fattening. It shouldn't be. It's too delicious and wonderful. Why is it bad for you and why is it fattening? Why can't I have it every day? Because you can't, right? It's that way in the world. We live in a jungle. There are predators and prey. I am not, namby-pamby, like you want to have an open mind, but not so open that your brains fall out. And we do live in a jungle. People don't respect the rule of law. People don't pay back their debts. People don't behave the way that they should behave. People can be selfish and greedy and deceptive and protective and all the other things that is part of the human condition. So for me
Yes.
to walk into something and not expect that just makes me foolishly naive and unable to protect myself or my clients or my family or anything else I'm doing. So
Right.
it's just understanding when you drive, there's a red light, and there are people that will run that red light. Some intentionally because they're just selfish and spoiled, some because they're lazy and looking at their phones, some because they're distracted. Who cares? I never go when the light flashes red. I count to three and then I go because some guy is going to come speeding through, and that's not going to be me because I have the right to go. It's about
Yes.
being smart, not about being right. And this is why I loved in
Yes.
your podcast is I'm 67 years old. I'm smarter than when I was 60, and I sure as heck hope I'm smarter at 70. So
Oh, we keep
you
going.
learn,
We
you learn
keep
these things
going.
along the
Yeah,
way, for sure.
absolutely. So give me, why did you say it was harder for the individual, or in my mind, it's harder from a family
Oh,
perspective.
family cases are the worst. They're the worst because it has nothing to do with what you're fighting about.
Right.
So I have this theory that every single conflict, I don't care what it is all about power. Getting
Yeah.
it, keeping it, taking it from someone else, stopping someone else from taking it from you. So if you put that overlay, let's say there's a family conflict, child custody, or a divorce, or an estate. Estates are particularly ugly and
States.
nasty. Fam-
Yes.
Families are ripped apart by a stupid will that wasn't done correctly, that doesn't understand human nature. Oh, they'll all get along and discuss things. Yeah, no. So, all of that is what makes things so challenging. And so, what I tell our listeners is let's say, think right now who's listening to us of an intractable situation, something just so black and white that we can never agree because we think of black and white and we're going to compromise into some shade of gray. No, that's not the way it works at all. So look at the situation as an overlay of power. Who's got power? Who wants power? Who thinks they have more power than they really have? Who is leveraging their power to try to maximize it? The weaker person, what power or allies could they marshal? You do everything like toy soldiers on a board from power. It just gives you a different perspective. And then it leads to better solutions because otherwise you're going to try to solve it this way. And maybe the solution is way over here
Yeah.
because I cannot tell you how many cases I have solved with having a man of the year dinner for somebody or helping somebody's kid get into college, or writing a better reference letter, or stuff that, like, who cares is unimportant. All of that comes into play. I make suggestions that people, when you're in the midst of combat, it's position, 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 boom, 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 like that.
Uh-huh.
If you're diagnosing from the outside, you can say, well, couldn't we solve that with a little bit of this? And they all look at you. Huh? What? Because it never even enters their mind because the amygdalas are triggered, right? And
Right.
that's why some of the techniques that I have, like in my little thing, my little cheap $12 Amazon book, and I do that on purpose because I want everyone to be able to have it. And then, what I have is organizations and groups that will buy like 20 of them and have book clubs around it because I put a workbook in the back, like the last 5 or 6 pages are workbook
Nice.
questions, and it's not the workbook questions that will teach you anything. It's being in the group and hearing
Right.
somebody else say, "Oh, I hated that." And you go, "What? I loved that. Why could you hate that?" Now I have an open inquiry into your brain. Why do you think the way you do? Why do you prioritize the way you do? What happens there? Really? That's interesting. And then I just thought of something. Let me give you a quick tip for anybody that has to do a group meeting of any kind. Okay.
Okay.
Because group meetings are always challenging and difficult and hard. And you got a bunch of people. How do you
Yeah.
create commonality and bonding, especially on Zoom, right? Zoom made it very
Oh,
hard
yeah.
during COVID, right? So
Yes.
during COVID, I had to do a very large training for a huge government agency. And I had, I don't know, maybe 30 people on the call and, well, maybe 40, 30 or 40, something like that. And it's Zoom, and these are government workers. And these were their faces.
Yeah.
What kind of nonsense is being shoved down my throat now? It was just like that. And I thought, oh, Lordy,
Why
Lordy.
are you
I
wasting
mean,
my time? Right.
I got to open this thing up right away. And you
Yeah.
can't say to people, like I've been saying to you, everyone thinks differently, introverts and extroverts, and we all have to talk to different people. No, that wasn't going to
No.
work. So I looked at all those little Brady Bunch black boxes and I said, in the chat feature, write down your favorite ice cream. And they all went, huh? I said, trust me, this will be fun. Write down your favorite
Yeah.
ice cream. It was easy, low bar compliance technique. Everybody can do it. And then what did it do? Oh, we're finally talking about me, something I
Oh,
like,
yeah.
something I
Yeah.
want. I'm not getting something shoved down my throat. So then everyone, writes all their junk. Then I look at the list and I start riffing on it. I said, ooh, interesting. Isabel likes rocky roads, so you like things a little rocky. And ooh, you so and so likes vanilla. You're a purist. Ooh, this one likes the gooey cookie dough. You like stuff gooey and sweet. So I just get them all laughing. And then I said, by the way, look at the list. There's somebody here you don't like. You know it. I know it. You don't have to tell me who, but look on that list. What kind of ice cream do they like? And I said, is it the same as yours? Raise your hand. And a bunch of people raised their hand. I
Yeah.
said, is it the complete opposite of yours? Raise your hand. Can you see why there's conflict? Can you see potential commonalities? And then I had
Hmm.
them. And then I was able to go into my training and do what I wanted to do. That's the adaptive thing in every single interaction that you have. And when you like people and you get along with them and you're safe, that just happens naturally. Oh, I went to a new
Right.
hairdresser and I did this. Oh, me too. We all jump for commonalities as quick as we can, except in
Absolutely.
conflict. So the number one thing you want to do with somebody who is oppositional to you is find a commonality. I don't care what,
Right.
it makes no difference at all. Find a commonality. And then from there, maybe you're not as evil as I thought you were.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me give one more technique because I always love to give the advanced class stuff. Let's say there's somebody you hate. You hate them. They have betrayed you. They have abandoned you. They have stolen from you. They've humiliated you, whatever it is. Somebody you just really hate this person. And yet you've got to deal with them, right? How do you do that? Well, from a place of hate and fear and powerlessness, not so well.
Not
And
so
it's
great. No.
pretty miserable for you, right?
Right.
So so look at the person and think to yourself, would they pull my kid out of a burning car? The answer 95% of the time is yes, they would. Well, that means there's something redeeming about them. I'm going to speak to that part of them. I'm going to ignore all the other stuff because I can't change it or fix it. But I'm going to speak to that part of them because it lets me not see them as the devil. Because if I see them as the devil, I have given them power and taken my own. This technique gives me power. And this is just simple, small stuff. And I've got so much in the book. And again, the reason I did that is because not everything's going to work for everybody. You may read and go, I love that. That's great. Someone else might go, fine. Who cares? This is
Right.
great. So
Right.
that's why I did it. You go through it. I mean, I designed it to be like a 2 hour read. So it's quick, it's simple, it's easy with stories and examples. And it's really designed for you to find two or three things that you go, I'm gonna try
I'm
that.
going to try that.
And then
Right.
and then when that works,
Uh-huh.
you may go, maybe I'll go back and look for something else. Because
How do you
how do
build
I handle this?
how do you build a moat to begin with?
I'm holding the calm, I'm holding the calm, I'm holding the calm. That's how you
Okay.
start. That's how you start. And then your moat gets bigger the more skills you've got. So if I look
Perfect.
at you and I go, I don't know what to do, my moat's kind of skinny. I got it because I said I'm holding the calm. Okay. And the more techniques I have, the wider that moat gets built. Let me give
Right.
you another one, for example. Let's say you're coming at me hard. I don't care if
Hmm.
you're coming at me that you screwed up or he screwed up and you got to do something about it, or I can't believe this is happening. Whatever that is, right? They're venting. You step back, take one step back physically, and I physically give myself the moat. I'm holding the calm, I'm holding the calm, I'm holding the calm. So I geared myself as to what it is that I'm doing. I let that stuff kind of, vomit out. And then I look at them and I name the emotion. You're really angry. I am not angry. What are you feeling then? I'm frustrated. Okay, you're frustrated. I still won, even if I got it wrong, right?
Yeah, you
Oh,
had them name it.
you seem like you're so sad. I'm not really sad. I'm really more depressed.
Mm.
Oh, that's hard. Instantly, the amygdala goes, maybe not foe, maybe friend. Okay. That's how just literally naming whatever emotion, if somebody is blubbing, there's an emotion underneath it.
Oh, yes,
You just
always.
you don't deal with the blah 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 blah. You deal with what's going on underneath. And people say, I don't know how to do that. It's too hard. I don't know what's going on with them. You can name the emotion.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
think about it. I mean, this is the funny thing we tease about because women, we're like Eskimos who have 100 words for snow. We have 100 words for every feeling because we're women, right? What do men have? Mad and glad. Okay. Mad their
Yeah.
team lost, glad their team won. Okay. More evolved men may have another two or three. Okay. I mean, like that's just how men have been trained. And there's some men that don't. Everything I say is the 80-20 rule, right? It's the
Right,
vast, vast
exactly.
majority. There's some men that are very emotionally high EQ and can handle it, but most men have a very narrow band. And women get into conflict with men because why aren't they feeling it? Why aren't they understanding me? Why can't they see it? They look at you like men are very simple. What? What? Mad? Glad? Literally. And if you tailor it down to that, you will be much more effective in, I was going to call gender issues, but interspecies.
Yeah.
Because Men are different animals than women. And I'm not
Yes.
dealing with like gay and lesbian and trans. That's a whole different category. But even within that, you have male and female energy,
Yeah,
right? It's
you
the
do.
same thing. So you deal with the energy of what it is. You have women have estrogen and testosterone. So do men. You have male and female energy. And there are people that press out more in the world. That's male energy. Female
Yes.
energy is pulling back in and nurturing. It's not limited
Uh-huh.
by your sexual organ. It's everyone has both and how
Right.
you condition to use it. So, like, my claim to fame is I have, great relationships with my daughter-in-law and my son-in-law. I think that counts for a whole lot, right?
Yes,
I
it
got,
does.
I've got, a whole bunch of grandchildren. I've got a wonderful husband. And now I got divorced, so I'm not perfect for sure, but I got married at 21 and I made it last 32 years with a lot of work and a lot of effort that finally was like
Wow.
just I deserve to be happy, can't do this anymore.
Hmm.
But because when you get married at 20, 21, you grow differently. You don't know who the heck the other person is. But there are times when my husband now will say something and I just think to myself, what a curious reaction to that. And I've learned to ask for what I want in a way that he can hear and a way that he doesn't feel scolded. He
Right.
feels accomplished by doing it.
Right.
It's the same way. If I wanted something from you, I would have to learn how, let me do this because somebody is listening to us now saying, well, that sounds manipulative. It's not manipulative, not at all. Think of it as I'm inviting you to my house for dinner. Wouldn't I want to know if you're gluten intolerant or you're
Yes.
vegetarian or you're allergic to peanuts? Right? Wouldn't I want to know that before I set a table for you? Isn't
Right.
it the same for a conference table or for any interaction I have with you? Wouldn't I want to know that, well, that's a touchy subject for you? Or you're more introverted, you don't want to be, I need a decision now.
Right.
Or someone that's really fast is annoyed by, I need a couple days to think about it. So
Right.
when you know the chapter one of my book is speak into the ears that are hearing you. It's
I
just
love
respect. It's not
that.
manipulation. It's just respect. That's all
Yes.
it is. It's just respect. If you speak French, why would I talk to you in Chinese just because I'm Chinese?
Right.
Makes no sense. So we all have to be multilingual in how we interact with different people. So that goes back to, it's a very long answer to your, how do you make the moat bigger? Becoming more fluent and more multilingual. The more you learn,
Yes.
the bigger the moat. Like I don't think there's anything really that scares me anymore. I don't think there's any situation I could walk into. I mean, the only part that would be really hard is if I had, like I've mediated with gangsters in South America. I mean, like legit
Wow.
gangsters, where the plaintiffs were afraid and said, don't let them know what hotel we're staying at. And I go, geez, what about me? But
Yeah.
but they needed me and I knew how to handle it. And so if you go into a situation and you're scared, you just have to stop and say, okay, what's my skill set? What are my weapons? What tools do I have? How can I increase that arsenal to make myself feel more protected and safe before I walk into that situation? Okay. But there are times when you say, I'm not walking into that situation, not going to do it. Totally legitimate. I mean,
Yeah.
everything that they say about violent situations and shooters and all that kind of stuff is it's always run, hide, fight in that order. Run,
Yes.
hide, fight. You don't fight first. That's not smart. Run, hide,
Correct.
fight. But yet, in interpersonal communications, if you've been trained to something comes at you, you punch back preventatively. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that works in a few situations. It does. I mean, legitimately, it does. If you punch someone in the face, they back off sometimes. But if you punch the wrong person in the face, not so good.
Right.
So using the right tool in the right situation is what makes you powerful, what makes you
Yes.
effective, and gives you that bigger moat.
Well, I can tell you this. I will definitely be putting the link to get your book in the
And it,
description. in the show
Thank you.
notes for sure, because I think everybody could invest a couple of hours to understand what these skill sets are, understand how they face conflict and what their natural response is, so that if nothing else, they have the awareness of that. And then they
I
have the
hope
tools
so.
that you put in the book as appropriate to use. So I have
I hope so.
three
Oh, and by the
questions
way,
that
they
I
have this
ask.
in
Yeah.
ebook, audiobook, they have it in all of it. And just so people know, like you were joking, I don't make any money on this.
Yeah.
This is like my labor of
Yeah.
love for people.
Labor. Yeah,
I want
exactly.
people, I mean, my day job is I'm a mediator. I mean,
Yeah,
that's how I support myself. But it just
right.
bothered me that people don't know this is teachable stuff. This is teachable stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. I have three questions that I ask of every guest on my podcast.
Okay.
So the first one, if you can close your eyes just for a moment and describe to me what you see in your mind's eye when I say wise woman.
Hmm. Long gray hair, kind eyes, simple
Mhm.
cotton clothing, a little stout, understanding that food is good and supports your bones. Um, a really gentle, accepting smile and some jewelry, some fun jewelry.
Yeah, I love
It's
it.
fun. That was
I love
fun.
asking that question.
What a
The
great
answers are
question.
awesome. Yeah, I may write a book with all the answers in it one
I
day.
think
That
you
would be
should.
fun.
I would love to read that. That sounds
That would be
great.
fun. Yes. Okay, so my next question is, where do you like to roam?
To Rome. I am now spending a lot of time in Panama, the country of Panama, and it is magnificent here. And just walking here, the flowers, the trees, there's trees everywhere with oranges and bananas and lemons and papayas. And I feel like I'm in the Garden of Eden. So I do like
Wow,
kind of roaming here. I do enjoy that.
that
And
sounds
I'm a big
wonderful.
sci-fi reader. So I
Oh,
read a lot
okay.
of sci-fi books and I consider that roaming because I'm fantasizing about I don't read dystopian mean junk. I do the
Yeah.
science, Star Trek,
Yeah.
new species, possibilities stuff. It makes me think how cool the future is going to be.
Oh, I know. I'm a big sci-fi fan myself. Sci-fi and fantasy, both. Okay. Last question. What makes you restless in a good way?
These are such interesting questions. What makes me restless in a good way? Uh, when I'm hungry and I need to cook something and it takes too long to do it, and I want to eat like right away. These are great
Answer.
questions. These are fun.
Thank
I've never been
you.
asked these before. I've done 200 podcasts and I've never been asked anything like that. Good for you. Good for
Well,
you. Those are
thank
fun.
you. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Hesha, for being on the show. I really, really appreciate it. And folks, please go
Pleasure.
and get this book. You really need to add to your arsenal, particularly in the conflicting times that we have right now.
Yes.
Please, please.
Can I add one thing
Positive?
to that? Um,
Absolutely.
I have two websites. Well, the
Okay,
website for the book is holdingthecalm.com, and that's got every podcast I've been on, every article I've written. If you want to do some free training and free learning, it's right there. You can listen, you can
perfect.
learn, you can have all that kind of stuff, which is easy. And then my business one is just Hesha Abrams, HeshaAbramsMediation.com. And
Okay,
that's just like for my business stuff. But it also has some junk on it. But what I want to remind people to do is to look at what can I do today to be better. And if you want an advanced course, I have Trump lovers and Trump haters as friends, and I can talk to all of them. And so if you can find somebody who has a different opinion than you and not express your opinion, just listen and ask questions and come like a scientist, put on a white jacket, have a clipboard and study them like they're a monkey. You know, they're a specimen. What this is a good person. This is
Yeah.
an intelligent person. This is a kind person generally. Why do they think that way? Huh? Because the more you practice that, again, that's moat enlarging.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that, Hesha. I really appreciate it, folks. Take that to heart in these times. Next time, we'll talk about another wise woman. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Julie Noonan here. Thank you so much for listening to Roaming with Restless Women. If you're a successful senior woman leader who would like to be on this program, please visit podcast.intuitivewisdomcoach.com. If you enjoyed this interview, please share this episode on social media and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Your thumbs ups and reviews go a long way.